was detained in a guest house.
Very good.
With phone privileges.
Absolutely.
And this is someone under investigation for clearly flouting the laws of a sovereign nation like Nigeria. And I would assume that for them to trade on this level in Nigeria, they would have gone through company registration, all that limited liability and all that. So the laws are clear. I mean, if you operate a business in Nigeria, the laws are clear. So, I mean, for one reason or the other, I imagine that that's why he must have been accorded, because he's a foreigner, he must have been accorded that level
perhaps
of...
we're not
Perhaps,
sure.
exactly, it's a speculation. You know, okay, you know what, pending the time that we're able to sort this out, we still... You know how you watch a movie and they'll say, we still have more questions, don't leave the country. You know, and then they'll get your passport.
And they collected his passport,
exactly.
apparently.
So, you know, even in Nigeria, you know, when you have a case with police, they'll tell you, be around because we can call you anytime, summon you, you know. So that's the idea. And so I'm asking myself as a Nigerian that, okay, you have the comfort of a guest house. You are probably having conversations with the appropriate agencies. And then the story went on to say that he had phone privileges. So he was allowed to make calls or receive calls, right? And then he went on to say that he was given the opportunity to go to the mosque to do a Friday Jumat service. And then that's when he went crazy. Okay, so when he got to the mosque, what happened? Was it that he wasn't being watched? I have a lot of questions, and I'm asking myself, this happened on a Friday, like, I mean, all the things the media has been putting out there, and then we didn't get to know about this until Monday. So, and then the next thing we heard was he used a passport. So, again, if people like us on this end know that we are privy to the information that he has a dual citizenship. So you would expect that if you're in the intelligence community, you would know that, right? I mean, if an average journalist can get this information,
how much more?
How much more someone in the intelligence community?
Now, like you rightly said, speaking from, in this case, I'll call myself a layman, a layman's point of view. I want to believe that if I'm going to go after a criminal and I arrest the person, for this type of crimes that they have stated, by the way, you're saying that he has... they have a 4-count charge against him, tax laws and blah, 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 blah. All of these things. You're alleging that he's financing terrorism, and these are very strong charges. If I'm arresting such persons, first of all, I'm going to take your personal devices away from you. Okay, fine. You need to communicate with family or whoever it is you need to communicate with. What happened to tracking those calls? What happened to tracking messages or whatever form of communication, whatever device it is or platform it is using to communicate with people? Because let's even now assume, because there's also the part of saying that, you know what, maybe some law enforcement agencies have been bribed in this case, but let's even now keep that apart and say that, okay, he planned this by himself, right? Because the other guy that was, I think, Techman Kiani or something like that, he's still in custody as we speak. He did all of that. So are they telling me that they can't trace any calls, they can't trace any messages, they can't do any of that? Okay, now Uti, you mentioned, let's assume 2 hours at the mosque, 1 hour to the airport, and I'm sure that we know how flights work now. It's not like they're waiting for you to say, okay, when you get here, then we're going to take off. There was a time for the flights, right? So let's assume it was 10:30 p.m. So between whatever time it was, couldn't anything have been done about it? Then, okay, you now came and then figured that, okay, he was on a middle distance, whatever. Or you even knew in the first place that he has dual citizenship. You picked his British passport. Okay, nobody asked questions about the Kenyan passport, I assume, which is why he was still
well, he could have also claimed that he didn't come in with it, so he only came in with his British passport. It's possible.
Okay, and then when
because if he wasn't planning to, I'm playing devil's advocate. So if he wasn't planning to go to Kenya, say his Nigerian visa was on his British passport, he could have come in and let's just say that they arrested him and he said, well, I didn't come with my Kenyan passport. But I would expect that you would put that information on a watch list to say, I've collected your British passport, but this person also has
a Kenyan
passport, right?